Hi, I'm singer-songwriter Oscar Butler. Welcome to Oscar Butler Music on YouTube and another episode of Songwriting Rules. Today I want to deal with a really simple topic, and that is, what is your point? You know, when you meet someone and, after a day or two, you don't forget that person, or there's people that you remember or people that you forget pretty quickly. Well, usually when you remember them, it's because, there's something that stands out. There's something that just continues to hit your brain. If it's a girl that's drop dead gorgeous, okay, you're not going to forget her. If there's a guy that has this incredible mullet that you haven't seen in years, that's something you don't forget. Well, in songwriting, you kind of want to do the same thing with your lyrics and your music, is that you want to give your listeners something that they're not going to forget. Because I consider myself a lyricist, I tend to want to focus on the words of a song, whereas there's lots of music that really, the music is what keeps people in it, keeps people locked into it, whether it's heavy duty thrashing or incredible licks, those are things that keep people wanting to listen to it. With me, I tend to want to make the idea or the message in the song the most important thing. So with me, when I say, well, what's the point? Well, when it comes to lyrics, what you're saying becomes that thing that you need to narrow down to where people get it in their head and can't forget it. There are two unforgettable fan favorites that I have that I've written are number one, French Toast, and number two, Chocolate Jones. Both deal with food, both are kind of funny, but they leave people remembering the lyrics, remembering at least little bits and pieces of the lyrics to where, they go out and they want to tell someone. There's this lady that works here in Albuquerque, and she just raves about that song and how much she told other people about it. And then I was playing last year up in Colorado, which I hadn't been up there for a year. I hadn't been up there for a year. And this guy comes in with his little son, and they say, well, yeah, we sing every morning when we make French toast, we're singing the French toast song. So the thing that I'm trying to point out in this episode is get your point out there. I've talked about in other videos how when you start your story, you want to stay. You want to make a straight line down the middle of that song that sticks to that story. If you hit a bridge, it's going to take you off a little bit, but then it brings it right back to that story, that point that you want people to walk away remembering. Some years back, I was teaching a songwriting class, and this person in the class had written this song that had a lot of different points to it. It kind of went off in this direction and then came off in that direction, and he was trying to basically cover all of the meaning of life in this one song. And what I said to him is this. I said, you know what? If you just take one point that you're making in that song, use just that one point and extend it throughout the song, that's your song. People will remember that one thing because you don't stray from what you're talking about. And the thing is, what I told him is that all those other points that you made in that song are other songs. This is why when I say that I don't believe in writer's block, it's because I go about songwriting in that way. I always have something I can write about, because when I write, I stick to just one specific point. Like my song Bicycle, my bike, that's all it's talking about. Riding the bike around Albuquerque and the different situations that I can get into. But that's it. There's nothing else. I've talked to people that think that, well, if I just have one point, I mean, that doesn't seem deep enough. But it doesn't, that doesn't make sense, because the thing is, when it comes to song, if you think maybe airplay, radio play or something, you're talking about, around 3 minutes to get your point across. And so that's why, I mean, going back to my song forms, you're doing something like a verse, chorus, maybe bridge, but verse, chorus, song, you say, well, this is what's going on, and then you hit the chorus, this is what it's about. And then your next verse is, this is following the next step in what's going on, and then you go back to the chorus, because you're constantly reiterating what the song is about with that chorus. In songs like with AAA patterns, a lot of times what you're talking about will be either the beginning or the end of that verse. That will be repeated in each one of those verses. Get to your point and stay on it. Make people see your point like a movie screen. Put it out there and don't stray from it. People will remember your song no matter how simple it is. And that's the thing, the more simple it is, the easier it is for people to remember. For instance, an amazingly simple song, Carole King's You've Got a Friend. Think about the words in that song, or look them up if you don't know them, but the words in that song really are incredibly simple. The whole thought about that, and that is such a universal song. When I start singing that, most people know that song and will chime in on the chorus. So that's what you want to do, is keep your point simple and stick to it. Let people know what your point is in your song. Anyway, that's it. Have a great week, and watch for me next week for my next songwriting rules video. Remember to subscribe if you're liking what you're hearing. Have a great day.